This game kicks ass.
Yeah, this was, come to think of it, this was the last story game that Valve ever made before Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, it kicked ass.
God, this game is like 11 years old.
I was gonna say, I don't think... Has anyone played it recently?
I don't know. No one has ever
reviewed it
played
recently.
Portal 2 in the past 5 years.
I've reviewed. So that's
I
Mumbles
literally
and
don't
me.
think I've played this game since April 2011. Like, I played it once, and that was it.
I might actually genuinely make time to play this, like, in between recording sessions. And, like, we're not really gonna hit any hard puzzles today. Oh shit, I just said that.
You should.
Yeah, you did.
It still holds up. I played it maybe like 2 years ago for a community test chambers video that I did. And then I actually just play this game at least once a year. It's like one of my once a year games.
Nice. It's perfect. I mean, like, the flow of the story is great, the puzzles are great, the art's gorgeous.
Suspension for 50 days.
Oh,
in compliance
motherfucker.
with state and federal regulations. All
I didn't
testing
turn on the
candidates
subtitles.
and
Hang on. Where are subtitles? Closed captioning language, English, subtitles only.
That
Science Extended Relaxation Center must be revived
Sorry.
periodically for a mandatory.
This is
physical
great.
and mental
It's like,
wellness
okay,
exercise.
so I actually want to say something real
You will
quick.
hear about
Spaces
it.
like this,
When you
just
hear
like
the buzzer,
rooms that
look up
look
and
really
see.
cool. For some reason, I would never get sick of video games having these. Just like Unity and Source style rooms that look really nice and awesome that you can move around in 3D.
Mandatory physical and mental wellness exercise. There is a framed painting on the wall. Please
Somehow the
stand
space
in
that just
front of
like chills me the way the fuck out. Which it
This
is
is
ironic,
fun.
but...
You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, stare
Also,
at
this
the
is the best, like, how to use your mouse and keyboard tutorial that I can remember having in a video game.
You should now feel mentally reinvigorated. If you suspect staring at art has not provided the required intellectual sustenance, reflect.
Do we need to
on
even
this
explain the plot of the previous game at this point? Does anybody not know what happens in Portal?
Well,
Good.
it's a good question,
Now,
isn't
please
it?
return
Like,
to your
if
bed.
you're playing this game, like, how much do you need to know what happened in Portal to get the most out of it?
So I don't want to be that guy, but Portal came out in like 2008, and
Yeah.
some people in our audience might only just be in like their teens.
You have been in suspension for 9.
Wasn't it 2007, actually?
It was 2007.
This courtesy call is
Hello?
to inform you.
Anyone in there?
I said like is an approximation. Imagine the little tilde
Are you
next to 8.
open the door?
At this time,
At any
will be
time?
assumed to have exercised his or her right
Hello?
to remain in
Ah! Ah! Oh God, you look good. Looking good, actually. Are you okay? Are you?
But for those people who are teenagers
There's plenty
and
of
have
time
never
for
actually
whatever.
played the
Just
original
take-
Portal because it's an old people game at this point.
evacuation.
And
Stay
wow,
calm,
it makes me
stay
feel
calm,
sad to say that.
prepare. That's all I'm saying, prepare.
You
Fine,
are
alright. Don't move.
implicitly
I'm
the
gonna get
child
out.
of
Oh,
some
you
scientists that
might
work
wanna
at
hang
a
on to something.
facility that
Point of
competed with
advice,
Black Mesa.
That's
No,
you've
no.
already spoiled half of this game.
That's not even
No,
a spoiler.
That is not at all of the text of Portal. Portal doesn't even tell you your name.
Hello?
There was the comic, right? Wasn't? Or am I thinking? Was that also this?
No, you're thinking of Portal fucking.
Most test
Oh, so you're getting
No.
into the expanded universe. See, those
No,
are the
but
novels
in
that were
this
written by Timothy
game-
Zahn.
After a few months in suspension.
You don't find out who your
Now, you've
parents
been
are in
under
this game. It's a whole
for
joke.
Quite a lot longer.
All
and it's
right, we're
not
getting
out of the question that you might have a
So,
very
I've
Spoiler
seen-
warning.
of serious brain damage. But
Go
don't
ahead,
be
Mo.
alarmed, all right? Although if you
That's
do
it.
feel
You don't
alarmed,
know who
try
your
to hold
parents
on to
are.
it,
You're just a
because
little
that is the
orphan.
proper
You have
reaction
no
to being
parents and
told
nobody
that
loves
you've
you.
got brain damage. Do you understand what I'm saying?
There's like
So-
one indication in this game
Makes
that
sense.
like you
Just tell
have
me,
some
just say yes.
connection to like maybe the faculty
Okay,
of
what you're
this,
doing there
this
is
place,
jumping.
but like
you just jumped. But never mind.
most of your character is just like you are extremely stubborn
Okay, you know what? That's close enough. Just
and a
hold
huge
tight.
pain in the ass to
All reactor
robots.
core safeguards are now non-functional. Please prepare for reactor core meltdown.
No one here has summarized
Hey, look, I
Portal
wasn't
1.
gonna mention this
Just
to you.
FYI.
Right,
I'm in
okay,
pretty
so
hot water here.
so Portal 1, you wake
doing
up,
down
you're in a
there?
test
What's
chamber,
going
and you
on?
get a gun that makes portals.
reserve power
And
ran
there's
out,
robot
so of
lady
course the
named
whole
Gladys who
relaxation
makes you do
centre started
tests.
waking up the
And then at the
bloody
end of
test
making you do tests, she gives you cake, but the
Hold on,
cake
this is
actually
getting tricky.
is a fiery pit that tries
And
to
of
kill
course,
you.
no
So
one
you
tells
kill
me
GLaDOS
anything.
back
Whoa,
and escape
what
to the
you tell me
surface.
anything?
But then you didn't, and now it's
Why
Portal
should
2.
I be kept informed?
Yeah,
that's Portal.
I want to know how we
bloody
got
test
into
subjects
this
before it's
room
been
from
charged on.
Portal 1, because I don't remember that.
So,
Yeah.
I think originally the Portal 1 ending just ended with you, like, getting to the surface, and then when they decided, like, when they knew they were gonna make a sequel, they patched in a thing where you get pulled back down at the very end.
Oh,
It was part
yeah.
of an ARG where like people had to find radios and bring them to places, and then you get the secret ending where you're dragged off, which is actually the payoff for the joke that happened earlier. Is really slick.
I remember that. I was part of that
Yeah.
game.
Okay, listen, we should get our story straight, alright?
Oh, that's
if
cool.
anyone asks,
I totally
and
forgot
no
there was
one's
an
gonna
ARG.
ask, don't worry.
I just,
I don't
whenever it was an
remember
ARG,
the stuff.
Tell them as far as you know.
I just
Was that
checked
the
it.
golden potato stuff?
Everyone looks
Yeah,
pretty much
there's
alike.
golden potatoes, and
Alright,
basically,
not
like,
dead.
sometimes they would give you sound files,
Okay,
so I would
almost
kind of,
there.
like, help out with that,
On the
because
other
at the
side
time
of
I was
that
working at a
wall,
radio
is
station,
one of
so I
the
knew
old
how the
testing
tech
tracks.
worked.
There's a piece of equipment in
So
there.
I think I
That's
got,
really
like, a
cool.
couple
Get out
golden
of here.
potatoes,
I
but...
think this is a docking station. Get ready.
That's fucking sweet. So another thing you need to know about Portal for context,
That is not a docking
which is very
station.
important to understanding
There's
this
one
intro,
mystery
is
solved.
Portal,
I'm
like what was
gonna
happening with the
take
ability to
that
make
over,
portals that you
obviously.
can walk through and appear in
Don't
another
get a bit
part was like kind of technologically
Hold on.
impressive. But in terms of its presentation, it was basically a
Almost
mod.
there.
It was like a Half-Life mod.
Yeah.
Like that's what it
It,
looked
it was
like.
literally developed
Yeah.
from a Half-Life mod.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of sterile corridors. Well, I think it's like 5 points. There's like a bunch of sterile corridors and like, you know, like there's some fire effects that were like in a critical scene that also looked kind of terrible.
There we go. Now I'll be honest.
And it was like
in no fit states to run this.
the fact that this game begins and you're in a room and then like the room starts swinging and breaking apart was a huge deal.
We are currently
Like it
Yeah,
was a
and
huge
also,
step
like,
up in terms of
plant
presentation.
life.
potentially apocalyptic
And this
situations
all just not
beyond
being
our
sterile
control.
and
However,
clean. Like,
thanks
that
to
was...
emergency testing protocols.
This is very much the game saying, hey, this is not your Portal 1.
Provide instructional and motivational
Everything that's
support.
happening here might like seem like a normal set piece to you, but what they're basically communicating with this is, hey, listen, like Portal 1 was great proof of concept. You guys liked it, so we actually put some real like
Oh, wait.
fucking money and cutting edge technology into this one.
Yeah,
and you're in for
this
a
is
trip.
straight up the original test chamber. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, this is the only Valve game that is single player where you can see your character model.
Because otherwise
just
it'd be
kind of a
completely
thing.
impossible.
So,
Cube and button-based testing remains an important tool for science, even in a dire emergency.
So one thing that I think Portal and Portal 2 excel at really well is like escalating the puzzles. You can watch YouTube videos where like there are people who've played games that like have puzzles and stuff, and like generally like they breeze through the early puzzles and then they start like kind of hitting a little bit of resistance early in. But you could actually also watch people play Portal who've never played a first-person video game before, and
If you feel liquid running down
like
your neck,
who aren't used to
relax.
solving like any
Lie
puzzle
on your
that's not like a
back and
Sudoku or a
apply immediate
crossword.
pressure to your temples.
And
You are
like it
simply
takes them a
experiencing
lot
rare
longer.
reaction
Like it
in
takes
which
them hours to
material
get through
identification
like
drills
puzzles that
may
like
have
take
the
30
answer
seconds to
your
get through if you kind of
future.
understand the
Unsolved your
language and the logic already. But like for one thing, those are still for the most part, like in my experience, having watched a lot of videos of this, like engaging hours. Like, you know, people need to take breaks and stuff, obviously, but like they keep playing because it's still like the puzzles, even though they're simple, are very fun, and it does escalate in such a way that you never just feel completely lost. You always feel like you've got something to latch onto. It's kind of like a masterclass in that kind of stuff.
well, we appear to canonically have the ability to levitate blocks with our mind.
No, you're using the
See.
gun to do it, I think.
But there's no gun in our hands.
Oh yeah. Because, like, Bubbles is right, like, you do use the gun to levitate the boxes, and they clearly
Yeah.
decided, you know what, fuck it. You don't have the gun yet, but you just, like... We're not gonna program a holding a box animation for the 5 minutes where you don't have the portal gun yet.
Was that visible in Portal
Because
1?
of the technical difficulties
Was
we're
what visible?
currently experiencing, your test
Because that was the
environment is
test
unsupervised.
the second test
Before
chamber for
re-entering
Portal
the
1.
relaxation vault at the conclusion
Was
of
that
testing,
visible in that
please take a
too?
moment to write down the results of your test. An amateur science reintegration associate.
I mean,
I think
it's
it
the
was.
way
I don't
that
actually remember.
it's the way Half-Life 2 let you carry objects in general, right? I think that's why the language isn't too.
Yeah.
They're not too concerned about it because like
Yeah, and
Half-Life 2
and the
opens with
carrying
that pick
it,
up that can and yeah.
carrying it with the gun was just like, well, we had the gravity gun.
No, I think part of the other reason that they had the gun asset and they had to do that is the game, unlike Half-Life's physics, when you randomly picked up objects, orientation mattered because they wanted you to be able to put down the cube. So whenever you pick up a cube, the gun writes it to the right orientation, and it would look weird if when picking it up it just sort of like auto-rotated.
How do all of you feel about video games where like you see your hands when you do stuff versus video games where you don't?
Also, are you alive?
The ones with hands actually make me feel sick, like nauseous.
Huh.
I don't know why.
That makes sense to me.
I'm still waiting for you up ahead.
Because I'm not seeing my own hands, so my brain's like, now you're nauseous, because those aren't your hands.
It's like kind of disorienting.
I will say it's exactly the opposite in VR. You need the hands, or it looks really, really strange.
That is true. In VR, yes.
Are we allowed to talk about the fact that this art is by Doug Ratman or whatever?
Oh fuck! I forgot about
Ratman.
that entirely.
Ratman
Yeah, because
is,
he's not. he's a rat man.
He's Ratman.
We can talk about Ratman because Ratman is not actually a character in the Portal franchise. He's a character who is used
That is a hot
adjacent to the
take.
Portal franchise.
I disagree with that, Rutskarn.
So Ratman is a character who is like in the Portal comics, and like he does actually appear in the games,
Some
like writing
emergency
graffiti
testing
and
may
stuff.
require prolonged
But
interaction with lethal
he isn't
military
really
members.
like.
Rest assured
He doesn't
that
really
all
have a
military
presence in the
members have
games
been taught
beyond
to
the
read
messages he
and provided with one
leaves,
copy
which
of
aren't
the
really
laws of
directed
robotics.
towards you. They're just kind of like, it's kind of like he could be roughly compared to the survivalist from Fallout New Vegas, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. But he's,
Yeah.
I think he's still a character, and I think it also was this, like, golden time of Valve putting money towards graphic novels for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
And so they released, like, a whole graphic novel about Ratman, so I kind of have a soft spot for it just because during this time, like, Valve was paying for TF2 graphic novels and Portal graphic novels, and it was just, like, all free online. It was awesome.
Valve had like a hardback book that was in Barnes and Noble that was just like full of like compilation style graphic novel stuff, and they just like they got like 5/7 of the way through their TF2 comic series or whatever the fuck, and then it just like died and then never again.
The smooth jazz has ended.
Oh, it's 6/7. Jesus Christ. Yeah, TF Comics number 6, The Naked and the Dead, January 10th, 2017. TF Comics 7, coming soon. Still hurts.
Oh man, I love seeing people do this puzzle. I'm sure Josh will get it, but it's just one of the funniest ones. This is the first one that like asks you to really use your bean, your full bean. There you go.
Yeah,
You're using your full bean.
I think the important thing about this is like they really take the time to make sure that you understand the physics and logic of
Yes.
Portal technology well,
Please disregard any undeserved
Yes.
compliments.
which is momentum is preserved, like direction of momentum is preserved, and you will need them both.
Oh, I remember this glass effect being like so incredible in 2011, and now it's
Yeah,
like,
weirdly-
oh, that's
weirdly incredible.
quaint.
This was like a big era for like distortion through like glass and lenses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you could do more with glass than just have it be like a texture you apply. I remember that was huge in the like the Lost Coast tech demo that they released for Half-Life, where like they had the leaded glass windows in the chapel.
Can I also say about Ratman? Another cool thing about Ratman is, so this band called The National made a song for, I think they made it for Portal 2, called Exile Vilify. And lyrics of that song has been written by Ratman. If you go around and see his different murals, you can see lyrics from the song. And there is a hidden radio that plays the instrumental version of Exile Vilify. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is, and it's a really good song.
It is
a
beautiful
song.
song.
Right now. It was written for the Portal 2's development.
It is a little weird to think back at this era of Valve, though, because it really was where they were firing on all creative cylinders, where, like, they were working with Jonathan Colton, they were working with everybody on Left 4 Dead, with Turtle Rock. Like, you had Valve really, really putting forth a tremendous amount of creative effort. And that just doesn't happen now. It just, all of that has just been stripped away.
It was also a golden age for, like, one thing that their studio had that I think you actually don't see in a lot of studios, especially now, is it was a big intersection of, we have enough money that we can just pull any arbitrary artist that one of our team members is hyper fixated on, so let's do it. Like, we've sort of, now it's either you don't have enough money to hire whoever, or, like, the publisher isn't going to do it unless you can submit a deck that, like, explains why it will increase your revenue in the correct demographics.
Well, the other thing is, like, especially for Portal 2, they hired comedians to write the script. The guy who voices Wheatley was one of the original writers of The Office, both UK and US, Stephen Merchant. So it's like, they really just got a lot of cool people to work on this game, and they got cool people to work on TF2. This was like, I think this is the best Valve has ever been, and it's like, I don't know if they'll ever recapture this, even though, I have played Death's Job. I have a video of that too, and it's quite good. It's very funny and silly and very Portal, but it's like, it's never going to feel like this.
The VR, like, proof of concept game that is basically also, like, ripping off the, like, not ripping off, that is also, like, kind of invoking the Portal IP, but, like, not a proper canonical game, is also, like, the writing in that is also pretty funny. The art direction stuff's good. They clearly, like, made the most of the opportunity. It's just that the opportunities don't seem to be very coming thick and fast for them these days.
Do you remember that they had some pre-release footage or something of this game, and Wheatley's voice actor was different? And then they changed it to Stephen Merchant?
Yeah, so the original voice actor for it, for the demo, was just a guy who was working on the game. He was just a developer, I think. And they just kind of coaxed him into doing the voice just so they could have proof of concept for the demo. And then everyone loved Wheatley. And so they're like, well, let's get, like, an actual voice actor to do it.
That's a, like, I hear that and I get, like, a tiny bit sad, because I have been, like, I don't think that, I didn't know that the guy who did the demo voice of Wheatley, like, actually wanted to keep doing it, but I have been, like, the guy in that situation.
Yeah,
like
but Stephen Merchant, so, I mean...
No, sure, absolutely. Absolutely. And Stephen Merchant does an amazing job. He carries a lot of this game. Like, there's basically two voice actors. Okay, there's like three prominent voice actors in this game, right? There's Ellen McLean, who does GLaDOS. And she's amazing. She's a goddess. Everyone agrees on this.
Yes.
Stephen Merchant, he kicks ass.
And our sweet J.K. Simmons.
Our sweet boy J.K. Simmons. Yeah, he's number 3. And J.K. Simmons, I honestly, like, J.K. Simmons is the kind of actor where I feel like he may have understood about, like, and he definitely cared about the character, he cared about the game, like, we'll probably talk about that later, but he actually made some, like, he, like, stood firm in his convictions on a few matters in this game that ultimately I think really were good for it. So, like, he was very invested in the role, and I don't mean to imply he wasn't, but, like, I honestly have no idea. I cannot really easily imagine J.K. Simmons really understanding more than 15% about what this game was at any given time during development.
I mean, that probably
he just
helps with the
absolutely kills
character.
it.
Or concerns about this
I don't know. I think you're not giving him enough credit. He does a lot of weird roles, and I mean, he was like in nerdy stuff before too. So I feel like
Yeah,
It
like
just goes to show, people with brain
he
damage.
he was
is he
the
still the yellow
robot
M&M?
president in Red Alert 3 before doing
Pop a
this.
wall behind me there,
You mean is he still in the
and I'll show
MCU?
the
Yeah,
outside
he's in
of
the MCU.
No, is he still the yellow M&M?
Oh, is he the yellow M?
He was the
Holy
yellow
shit.
There's something
M&M?
on you here, it's pretty heavy.
I thought you said is he still in an MLM, and I thought that was MCU because I couldn't imagine it being like the face of Amway or some shit.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah, he's
loves
still the
selling
yellow
leggings.
M&M.
Or I would die.
No, he's
I bought
not.
leggings from J.K.
So,
Simmons the other day. It was really nice, actually.
Alright, on the off
However,
chance
what-
that
Yeah, he's not.
J.K.
He's
Simmons
not
here
like
at the
a
moment.
promotional guy. He just does it. He goes to houses and tries to sell it.
When life gives you Lululemons,
Sorry, what was?
don't make Lululemonade. Make life take the Lululemons back.
2, 3. That's high.
You're gonna blow up Life's house with Lululemon grenades.
All right, going on 3 just gives you too much time to think about it. Let's
can't
go.
That joke is gonna be
Anyway.
hilarious for anyone who hasn't played Portal in about like
Ow,
5 or 6 hours.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead.
Wait, it's not
Tell me to that stick
Lululemon.
on
What's the
wall over there,
MLM
yeah?
one?
I'll show you something. You'll be impressed by this.
It's
LuLaRoe, damn it.
LuLaRoe. Yeah. There you
Seriously, I'm not joking. Could you just turn around for a
go.
second?
So
This is
here's
like a
the
safety-
part. Here's everybody's
Yeah.
favorite part from the demo.
But this is also like the most 2008 ass humor, though.
Oh, but it was so good. When this was in the demo, everyone was just like, what?
While your back was turned.
He waited for me to turn
What's going on
around? What's happening?
Look at this. No rails to tell us where
It's
to
a
go.
great example of humor that's based around like
Hold on,
player movement and mechanics that kind of like integrates you into the joke and the delivery in a funny way. Wasn't there also like some reason for it? Like they didn't want to make an animation or something like that?
Don't make eye contact, whatever you do. No, thanks, we're good.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Keep moving,
Probably.
keep moving.
I think that sounds.
Which, I mean,
I'm
that's a great
different.
lesson for game developers. If you've got a weird limitation in your video game, you could spend 6 months trying to work around it, or you could just make a joke and skip right the
Bring
fuck
you up to
over
speed on
it.
something right
Yeah, and that
now.
is
In order to
good
escape,
dev
we're gonna have
stuff.
to go through her chamber. And
Classic
she
dev
will probably
shit.
kill us if she's awake.
I
Are
love
we
the change of
already
music
here?
in here. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna lay my cards on the
This was
table.
also
I don't
pretty
wanna go.
shocking,
I don't wanna go.
the
No,
fact that you
don't go,
basically
don't-
meet
she's off,
GLaDOS
she's off. Don't
5
panic
minutes
over it.
into the
She's
game.
off. Oh, fine, on we go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, yeah, you're kind of the first area here is just sort of retreading all the stuff in Portal and short-circuiting it.
There she is.
What is
What a
shocking?
nasty piece of work.
Yeah,
she
is
honestly.
like
a proper maniac.
how the fact
You know
that
who ended up
GLaDOS isn't in the game from the beginning
You're not gonna
is a
believe
little
this.
shocking.
A human. I know.
And once you get
I
through
know, I
that,
wouldn't
what's
believe
more
it either.
shocking is that
I think this
GLaDOS
human
is in the
escaped and,
game
nobody's seen him since.
after, like,
was sort of a
just
long time to time
like
where,
not like halfway through,
sleeping
but
at
is
the-
like in the game
And
before
then there's us
that.
escaping now. So that's pretty much the whole story. You're
Like the obvious thing to do would be to have her be like right in the game from the beginning, and the other obvious thing to do would be to like save her to the end or something. But this game
Yeah.
does neither, and like they kind of just seem to take it based on like the flow of the humor and the escalation of stakes, and I think it works really well.
Well, I also think it's the point of this game is
Okay,
to
down
explore
these
the
stairs.
history behind GLaDOS, right?
No,
To
actually,
just
you
dive
know, that
as
is
deep
quite
into
a- that's
aperture
quite a
science
distance,
as you
isn't
can
it?
possibly go and figure
Okay,
out
you know
where
what?
she came
Go
from.
ahead and
So
jump. You've got-
it's
you've
kind
got
of
braces
great
on
to
your
have
legs,
her from the
so
beginning
you're all
and
set.
like build a
Although no
relationship
braces
with
on your
her.
arms, though.
What
So you're
happens
gonna have
if
to rely
I-
on the old human strength
Oh, I
to keep
can't
a grip
drop.
on the device. And
The other thing
for
is that like
extension,
GLaDOS is kind of a strong character, right? Like she has a lot of personality to her, especially like when she's in her kind of evil mode.
You've applied the grip,
Which
we're all fine.
the
That's
way the first game
tremendous.
handled that is that they had her be very like bland and just kind of like not actually bland. She had a lot of like humor and flavor to her, but they had her like in her very professional detached mode at the beginning of Portal 1, and then gradually gets more and more sinister until she just like flips until you
Well,
flip
yeah.
the switch that just makes her full
Says
villainous.
escape
But you can't do that
pod.
again.
Right, don't touch anything else. Not interested in anything
They
else.
wanted
Don't touch anything
to
else.
surprise
Don't
people
even
with
look
the
at
ending
anything
of
else.
Portal
Just-
in the
well,
first
obviously you gotta look at
game.
everything else
And
to
so
find
it's
escape
like
pod.
now
But as soon
you
as
gotta
look at
like
something,
figure
it
out
doesn't
how
say
to
escape pod,
integrate her
look at something
into
else,
it.
look at
And the
the
best way to
escape
do
pod.
that is
Don't
to
touch
make her
anything
kind
else,
of
we'll look at
fun.
it. We'll look at other things, but don't.
Yeah,
you
but I
understand.
think that like that also goes some
Do you
way
see
to
it anywhere?
explaining why they
Can't
give
see
you
anywhere.
Wheatley for the tutorial of
Tell you
this
what,
game.
Plug me in.
Like, because it would
Yeah.
be too distracting to have GLaDOS doing GLaDOS shit, like while you're trying to learn the basic mechanics.
let there
So
be
they
light.
they keep her out of it
That's,
just long enough.
God. It's close to
Yeah. I have more to say about that, but I'm gonna wait till we get to it.
Cool.
Now.
So, one of the very few times I've ever really, like, I'm pretty critical of VR broadly, but one of my favorite moments in VR that I've ever had was playing the little tech demo that Redscarn talked about earlier, because it was the first time, like, GLaDOS ever really felt menacing to me, because in VR, like, she looks like a giant, you know, mid-2000s Apple product, right? All curves and white and black. But like, if you play the VR thing, she's 50 feet tall and her head is the size of a human body. Like, it is intimidating to see her in VR. She is scary.
Yeah, like, she appears suddenly at some point, and it's like pants-shitting terrifying.
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time.
Oh.
How have you been? I've been really busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
Were those the shadows?
I don't know what that was.
Look, we both said a lot of things that you're going to
That is my
regret.
favorite fucking line in any video game. We both said a lot of things that you're going to regret. Oh my fucking god.
You monster.
I think we can put our differences together aside for
I
science.
will say, though, that
You
since you went
monster
to all
is
the
also
trouble-
hilarious
Yes.
and well delivered, and it's in the trailer.
Yes.
It's in the trailer. It's the last line of the trailer. I still remember.
I love
It's
it
so
too.
fucking good.
There's just
Ah!
one small
It
thing
was
we
so
need to
hype
take
when this
care
game
of
came
first.
out. I remember coming out the door. I had a friend, and like we like all of us downloaded the game before it came out, or like as soon as it came out. I forget what Steam was up to back at that point. And we all usually did stuff together, but we just like that night we all downloaded it together, and then we all fucked off to play it separately. And I woke up the next morning like halfway through the game, and I'm like, oh man, I stayed way too late. I was halfway through. My friend was just like, I finished it. I'm done with the game. I'm done with it. I played the entire game last.
Be careful not to trip over any parts of me that didn't get completely
I'm like, wow, that must have
when
taken.
it
She's
flew
like,
through
yeah.
here. The dual
See you in
portal
class.
device should be around here somewhere. Once you find it, we can start testing, just like old time. There it is.